Hey, hey, hey.
Whoa.
Another Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Another Carvers and Creators.
Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Come on,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of Carvers and Creators, a weekly demonstration and discussion with pumpkin carvers, sculptors, and multi-talented artists. We please ask that you please consider giving us a like and a follow on the platform you're watching us on. And please let us know in the comments where you're watching from and if you have any questions for the carvers and our special guest. My name is Michael Mondragon. I'll be running the show, moderating comments, and chiming in from time to time. Let's meet the Carvers. First, he is an artist and sculptor from Boston, Massachusetts. He is a 2019 champion of Food Network's Outrageous Pumpkins. Paul Dever, welcome.
Hey, happy
Welcome,
Thursday,
Paul.
everybody.
There he is.
Hi, guys. Hello up there.
Next, he is a multimedia sculpture artist from Tucson, Arizona, and a finalist on Halloween Wars 2019 on the Food Network, Matt Harper.
Hello.
Hello, Maddie.
Our guest today is a Chicagoland sculptor specializing in character busts. You can find his unique art at Laughing Ghost Studios on Instagram. Please welcome Todd Davis. Welcome.
Hey,
Welcome, Todd. Hell yeah.
Right on. And I want to thank you, Todd, very much for having a very simple name that I can pronounce. That's usually my stumbling point. I got Alex or Alec, right?
Alec.
Yeah.
And Alex. It all sounds the same, right?
Yeah, no,
But-
give or take a consonant.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
You got to think as parents, really. You know.
So let's look at our carvings from, your carvings from last week. I don't have any in here. This is, the subject was suspicious female. So the female part of it was the guest choice. Matt?
Nice.
What can you, yeah.
Real nice.
There's my girl. Yeah. So Paul and I, Todd, always talk about one of the biggest, Mount Everest is trying to carve a female form, and
Yeah.
just because we're so used to doing like grizzled, wrinkled, monsters, and men are just inherently ugly. So when you do try to do a female in one form or another, it's a tougher putt. So this took probably longer than I normally would spend on something, but I think I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing I would probably do different looking at it now is her neck. Just because of I would have broken through, but I probably could have cut it and made it look kind of curve around and still had that void underneath her hair. But I just I didn't want to pop through for whatever reason. So she looks a little like neck forward in that picture, but I'm proud of it. Yeah.
Oh, looks
That's
good
great,
though.
man.
Love the eyebrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
The raised eyebrow. Yeah. That
The
helps.
rock
You know
elbow. Or,
You know what you could have done with it, right? You could have turned it into a hand, like a high school picture.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like she's doing this.
No, that's outstanding, man. It's one of my favorites. The mouth, everything's so feminine about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. That's
definitely.
Amazing.
Well, let's see Paulie's. This is of course, our eyes go right straight to the hair. It's like what inspired you to do the curly fries on top of
You're
that?
the second person today that asked if those were curly fries.
It's
squash.
pretty amazing.
That's squash. No, so when we filmed live from my vacation, I had catastrophic squash failure because I did not store the squash properly. So what I was carving the next day when I looked at it was completely mush. It was mush in the bag. So I had to get another one, and I was kind of struggling for inspiration. And then I referenced my book from Thomas Fluharty, who does the most amazing illustrations and so characterized, and just I could stare at it like a 12-year-old for hours just trying to figure out how he did it. And then I saw this lovely lady was in the background, and I thought, let me try and get some inspiration from that. So thank you, Tom. It helped a lot.
Yeah.
Paul, you know who I thought immediately of? Okay, you remember the show Alice, and then there was
Yes.
Yeah.
The cranky waitress.
Yeah, the cranky
Kiss
waitress
my
with the red
grits.
hair, kiss my grits. Like instantly, I'm like, oh my god, that's her. That's so perfect. Anyway,
Yeah.
Florence Jean Castleberry.
thank you. And what was her real name, Mickey? What was her real name?
Polly Holiday.
Holy
Thank you.
crap, that's amazing.
Holy,
That's do not admire that.
Yeah,
That is not something to be admired.
That's why you're on the top square.
That's right. Top square gets the X right there.
That's
Yeah.
it. No
Yeah.
kidding.
Top of your head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
On top of my head, I
media. Yeah.
No, quick, man.
yeah, do not admire that. Thank you though. So Todd, I wanted to introduce you to the fourth member of Carvers and Creators. It is the Hollow Wheel, the Center Spinner, and it will decide what our carving subject is tonight. I don't think you're carving with us, but we'll definitely ask you about what you have next to you.
He's sculpting alongside us, Mickey.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
Set up
Yes.
for pump.
Yeah. He's
on.
He's got a subject right behind him. He will be sculpting along with us. However, yeah.
It is
Okay.
the size of a pumpkin.
Yeah.
It pretty much is the size of a pumpkin.
A big one too. Yeah.
So I see the reference photo in the background. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, it's a mad ball. So
Nice.
Oh no way.
Are you gonna cast it out of a rubber that we can bounce? That we can actually bounce it.
I want to bounce that. Yeah. I want to be.
actually, it'll be a latex skin on the outside and filled with foam on the inside. So you probably could bounce it. It might, just kind of, but
Yeah.
That would be an expensive bounce, man. That would be a shame.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, right on. Well, Paul, what do we have tonight? What is the
Well,
wheel?
kids, let me tell you about the wheel. We have the wheel, the Center Spinner. The what other we call it? Like 5 other things.
Halloween.
Hello wheel. Yes. Okay, so we do have an empty spot on the board. For last week, we landed on guest choice. Previously, this spot was occupied by quarantine, which we have done. So if Todd is feeling up to it, he is more than welcome to give us a suggestion before we spin the wheel if he has some sort of subject that he would like to see us try and tackle.
let's
Todd,
see.
anything?
Let me take a look at what you already have
Okay,
on there.
let me tell you what we got. We got
Yeah. Let's see what
Royal,
we got.
Royal, Other Guy. I don't know what the hell that is. Zombie, Aquatic, Punk Rock, Guest Choice, From Outer Space, Primate, and Devil.
So right, just off the top of my head, something I don't see is clown.
Ooh, we used to have Clown on there way back in the early
Way
days.
back in the days. I love that. That's cool. All right. This clown could really be good. Just don't land on it. It'd be great, but just don't land on it.
And I can spell it in one shot. Fantastic.
Perfect.
Okay,
what's-
so second spin. Second spin will be the emotion, and that will either be suspicious, irritated, drunk, grizzled, perplexed, euphoric, charismatic, repulsive, sulking, or hysterical.
Ooh.
One of those.
Okay.
So let's give it a go, shall we? Oh, it's a good one.
Worst part of the day.
Oh, it almost landed on clown. I called other guy earlier. I knew it was going to land.
You said it out loud, Paul. Why'd you say it out loud?
I know. Well, I say I'm going to hit the lottery out loud. That shit don't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, other guy. You want to do female again?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a respin. It's stuck.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, the wheel's
Give
breaking
it
in
a
well.
shot, baby.
The wheel is breaking in well, fellas.
Yeah. Very nice.
Perplexed other guy.
Oh shit.
I don't even know what that means.
I shouldn't say shit because that's a bad word, but shit.
Sums it up. Holy
Good
macaroni.
Lord.
What do we do with that?
What do we do?
Tonight I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try acorn squash. We don't usually carve acorn squash, but I'm gonna give it a go. This is a
Man, I kind of look like an acorn squash. This is perfect.
You are after this. I'm gonna try my hardest.
God damn it! Can you make a horrible face for me, Paul? Because that'll be my reference.
No, it's just my face.
There we go. That's all we need.
That's 90% of my day. Is that?
What?
What?
What did you just say?
Jesus, was that out loud? Yeah, huh?
All right.
I gotta get
So
some more light on
perplexed other guy.
this. Perplexed
So-
other guy.
So for someone who's reading that for the first time, what does that mean? And
Well,
So-
as someone who just spun it for the first time, I don't know.
okay,
I
So-
think it started as a goof to try and carve each other. John
Yeah.
Davis and I would do that. We did it one year in Chicago where we didn't know what to do. and we had to carve live, and the two of us shared the same carving station. So he had the great idea of, just like Matt said, he goes, just make a face, and he takes a picture, and then I take a picture of him. He made a face, and I was like, there you go. That's what we're doing tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And it ended up being really funny. So
Gotcha.
let's hope it goes in the same direction, huh, Maddie?
Well, if you're, go ahead.
I was thinking, I got to pull up a picture from when I visited Matt. I have plenty of.
Oh
funny
God!
Oh, okay.
Oh no, Paul.
What?
I make it a point not to take good pictures. So
No, but they're amazing. They're amazing pictures. They're amazing.
So if you are carving or creating with us tonight, we're going to give you 5 minutes to grab your tools, pumpkin, squash, any other perishable item or medium. Get all that together, and we're going to do our traditional toast. We're going to go around the horn and see what kind of carving oil we have tonight. I'm going to start with Todd.
Ooh.
there we go.
Okay.
Yes, first, very polite of you.
I love that name,
That's right.
carving oil. By the way, I'm gonna use that. So I got Atomic Pumpkin,
Oh, nice.
The Ranger.
New Belgium brewery,
Yep.
Beautiful.
brewed with habanero. That's why they call it Atomic, because it's got that heat in it.
Oh, wow.
It's probably the most unique pumpkin beer I've ever had. I love it though. The heat is kind of right at the end when you.
Nope.
Stop.
Everybody.
Hammer
freaks out.
time.
And we're back.
But it's good.
Nice.
Right on.
What happened there?
Well, you froze for a second.
You froze for a second.
It's normal when you say habanero, everyone just like freaks out.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the internet's no different.
Yeah, habanero. Like what?
Yeah. This conversation is too spicy for the internet. It knocked it off.
There we go. Ba-dum-bum.
Matt, what do you got?
All right. So in honor of our illustrious guest and one of his most recent amazing pieces, which we're going to talk about, his Moon Man.
Yes.
I got a Santan Moon Juice.
Cool.
Galactic IPA. Here's the
Yeah.
galactic part. Yeah. So it's a pretty strong 7% alcohol, 7.3 IPA. So I will be in orbit myself after this.
Oh,
Yes.
well done.
I love that beer, Matt, and as much as you hate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna chew through it myself. I'm not an IPA fan, but I'm gonna chew through it for this show. Hell yeah.
All right. Right on. Paul, what do you got?
Okay, so just less than an hour ago, I was looking for a good beer to choose from my beer fridge. My lovely wife came up and said, "Did you know that we had?" And there's a reason for this. Look how black this can is. A swish hiding in the back of the fridge. Now this
Nice.
is from Bissell Brothers Brewing in Maine, and it is the most delicious beer I've ever tasted. They usually put it out in limited releases. It is 8% by volume, 1 PINT.
Whoa.
Oh,
All right. No FLO.
Complete one pint. Nice.
And I can't
well,
think of
that has got to be one of the coolest cans I've ever seen.
It is
That's
awesome.
Crazy.
Well, it was just sitting in the fridge behind another beer, and you couldn't see it because it's so dark in the beer fridge. It
Wow.
Hidden in plain sight.
was waiting for
Really? What are you drinking, Tiger?
I have the Always Ready IPA from Mumford Brewing. This is downtown Los Angeles, and very nice can, and actually
Very
a
you got
kind of
a nice
kind of a hidden brewery in downtown LA. There's bigger breweries down there, but you actually have to unfortunately go to the seedy part of downtown LA to get to here, but it's worth it. And
I thought they were all
and,
seedy.
Yeah, downtown
Hey.
LA, isn't that just automatically seedy?
actually, it's actually gotten a lot better, but to be fair, there's a stretch where you don't want to go, and it's literally right within that. so it's fine. I mean, I'm all about it. So
That's cool.
yeah, for craft beer, I'll definitely take the death threat.
Yeah, exactly. Risking life and limb. I love it.
That's right. Well, you brought up the Moon Man, so I'm going to start out with that.
Wait, before
And,
we got to do cheers. We got to do cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Here we go. Let's toast.
You're putting the
Let's go.
cart before the horse.
Clink. There
clinky.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers to you. And so I mean, you just posted this like super recently, so I'm glad I could get it in here. But tell me more about this.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of NASA and NASA history, particularly the Apollo program and the programs leading up to it, Mercury, Gemini. And I wanted to do something towards that, so I thought, well, you know, what better than the man in the moon? You know, we'll do like the moon and use my style of character sculpture and put it on the moon. And so originally it was just going to be on a pedestal and it was just going to be the character. But I happened to find this ball, which is it was a big clear acrylic ball, and it would be a post cup. And then I started thinking, like, what if I put the character inside there and then space on the outside, and then all the other ideas just started rolling in, and that's how I came up with the whole like NASA equipment, you know, looking like it came back from space and had somehow, you know, captured the moon inside of it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So awesome.
I almost look at it and think like he's waiting for them to go back, right?
Behind it, yeah. So the whole story behind it is he's sad because after Apollo 17, we never went back to the moon. But you know, I like to think that the whole time he was expecting them to come back, and that's why he's got the little sign that says "Welcome back," and it's all dirty because he's been sitting there forever. And that little gift, that actually the tag, it says "To NASA from Moon."
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's
so it was
wonderful.
Work on a little depressed.
So how long have you been doing this type of art?
I really jumped in like full force in 2015. So with this type of art, like these characters, that's been since 2015, 6 years.
Wow. That's not very long. I got to say, that's not very long to be this goddamn good.
Well,
it's insane.
I started sculpting back in 2000, so I guess, you know, I've got 21 years of sculpting. But I didn't used to do this type of sculpture. I started off like classical, like really academic, you know, nude models and portraiture type of stuff.
Okay. Now, did you go to college for that? Is that what you went? You're kind of like, your background was all in sculpting?
Yeah, I went to Indiana University and in their fine arts program. And I actually majored in drawing and painting first. And it wasn't until my third year that I tried sculpting, because, you know, I didn't really have any interest in sculpture, actually. I was all about but then it was like, you know, sculpture 101 day one. As soon as I started doing it, it was like I could just do it, and you know, everything just kind of made sense to me.
Must be nice. Now, so that actually clears up a lot of questions that I had, which was, you do this bust we talked about in the pre-show. It has a different name every time, but you said it's more of a self-portrait. But you do these amazing paint jobs, and he has tattoos, and it's crazy the work that you're putting into these things. That's even another one.
You were talking about another one?
Yeah.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
He's got a whole bunch of them.
Oh, no, that's what I was saying. There's this one.
That's what I mean. It's just another example of all right, so you're sculpting it, you're casting it, you're painting it, you put
I love that one. That's the sailor version, right?
Yeah, that's the sailor. Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, this one's on display at a tattoo shop in Cincinnati right now.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Is that something you ever wanted to get into too? I mean, look, you've got the style down, that's for sure.
Hell yeah!
No, I never really wanted to get into it. I did think about it quite a bit, and I know some people who do it, but just, you know, I'm already set up to do this, so it was like, I guess the thought of you know, starting up with all different equipment thing, I'm like, eh.
Right. Jeez, just natural talent, unbelievable.
Thank you.
Where did we go wrong, Matt?
I got to ask you about these guys, because we were talking before. Mickey will probably have other versions of this, but this face is just amazing to me. And the first time I saw it, and it was in the carny kind of clown look. And then we talked yesterday, and you were talking about how you've made the same bust, cast the same mold of the same sculpture, and painted it and made it into different characters, which just blows my mind. But so this is the one that Paul was talking about. This is your self portrait in some way, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I took pictures of myself from every angle, making the face, and then I also sculpted with mirrors by me, and so I'm like using a photo reference and live reference while I'm doing it.
Okay.
That's amazing. The one where he's painted with the Queen of Hearts makeup.
Oh,
that is unbelievable. I mean, look at the paintwork on it just to go above everything else.
Oh my God, yeah.
Jesus. Why isn't that in my house?
It becomes such a different character to me. It almost doesn't look like the other one at all. It's like so one. And you know what? I kept getting stuck every time I go through your work. I see the eyes you do are so realistic looking, and obviously the expressions, but the eyes really hold that, like, okay, that's a dude. I don't know what happened to his body. I don't know, but that poor guy, he's in that position right there. It's so perfect.
Thanks. Yeah, I put a lot of effort into eyes, and when I'm finishing a piece, I always allow myself at least one whole work day just for the eyes, and sometimes so it depends on how realistic I want them to look, but they're never just an afterthought. They're always like a really focused kind of thing.
So you make the eyes yourself? Because I know other artists we've talked to actually have people that do them for them, but you do them yourself.
Yeah, those are cast in the piece. So just like this, like I use an eye form. When it comes out of the mold, it'll be blank, and then just like this guy was the same way, and then I airbrush in the eyes.
Wow.
How do you make perfect circles?
Yeah.
like a 4-year-old child. How do you make perfect circles?
Well, to be honest with you, they don't come out perfect. When I first put the blue on, for example, it'll be a little wonky here and there, but then I'll go around it with white and clean up that.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. So you're not a machine. Okay.
So you're not perfect, is what I'm hearing. All right. Not the first time, the second time.
I mean, that paint job on that queen is nuts.
Yeah.
It looks like it was laid on with like a vinyl sheet or something. It's
perfect. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it gives it such a different dimension too. It actually adds to the character. And then you switch it, you can switch it out. And I've seen you do it with some other stuff that we'll show that it can become like anything. It can be, like a circus if you wanted it to, or something else. But in the related thing, it's really, really amazing and great use of space.
That's the idea that I like to do with a lot of my sculptures, is to get as much mileage out of one sculpture as I can.
Yeah.
So, spend 3 or 4 months sculpting something just in the clay form. I don't want to just do one version of it. I want to crank out as many different ideas on it as I can.
Oh, sure. And what I love about the stuff you do too is it comes with a story, and it comes with a background, and it comes like you described with the Man in the Moon. It's got an in-depth story behind it. So you're actually there's a whole lot of depth to it makes it a lot more alive, because I think that storytelling ends up going into how you sculpt it too. Because it's a lot more. There's a lot more information to be gathered from than just an initial look. Okay, that's a face. This is like something that there's a whole story inside of, which is beautiful.
Yeah, whenever I'm working on a piece, I do really get into the attitude of the character too. So Man Moon, he was kind of sad. So the whole time I'm sculpting him, I can't help but sort of mirror that feeling in my own face. So I'm kind of sad while I'm working on it.
Right.
And,
I agree.
And then I usually put on some entertainment that has something to do with the piece. So like for Man in the Moon, I was watching or listening to a lot of NASA documentaries and things like that.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say REM, but okay.
If you believe.
That's right.
Good luck getting that earworm out of there.
They put a man on the moon. Yeah, good Lord. Thank you.
There was also a band called Air, and they had an album that I think this just turned 20 years old called Moon Safari.
Oh yeah, I have that album.
There you go. Actually, it was another one. It was the other one that turned 20 years old, but it was, yeah, they have that. So there you go. Sorry.
Cool.
Another classic thoughts with Mickey
Yes.
Mondragon.
Yeah.
That's right. But we were talking about how you kind of repurpose these as well. I mean, we showed it earlier, but I mean, these all become very unique pieces on their own, but they're the same mold.
Yeah, that's all out of this. In fact, I ran that mold so many times that by the time I got to the last casting, the skin texture was like smooth.
Ah,
Wow.
These three were they went to Australia. They're in Australia now.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was
They look like
Someone-
are they the kangaroo from Tank Girl kind of esque, right? That's what it reminds me of. You remember that movie?
I'm not really familiar with the kangaroo. I know the movie, but I'm drawing a
The-
blank
the-
on it.
You never saw it with Ice-T? Come on, it's a great movie.
Oh come on. Yeah. Just ask Ice-T. He'll tell
They
you.
had that like humanoid face, like and they had the long ears. You would have thought they were rabbits or something, but they were
Yeah.
kangaroo.
Oh,
Oh,
Great makeups, by the way. Great makeup. This is a great sculpture. as well.
Ice-T was nominated for an Oscar for that, right?
He should have been. It was outstanding. I cried twice. One for buying the ticket, and 2 for sitting through it. Only kidding. Great movie. Loved it.
I'm gonna make that 3 times for listening to this story.
Yeah.
Aw,
Wow.
Oh,
Harper.
stop it.
Nailed
Not
it.
nice.
Yeah, these are awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, do people? I mean, how do you get these in front of people? Do you? I mean, how do they make it to Australia? Like, how does that happen?
yeah. So it's interesting. Whenever I do a show, I post from the show. So I usually do like a little video, like maybe a live book video, and of course I just post pictures, on Instagram and stuff. And a lot of times, like, I might not sell anything at all at the show, but then people online will contact me and be like, "Hey, I really like that one. Do you still have it?" And that's what happened with these.
Oh,
A guy in Australia happened to see it online and scooped up all 3 of those. So
Wow.
Wow, that's cool.
that is really
Is
cool.
it, do you know how they ended up? Like in a shop or in his personal collection?
his personal collection.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I saw pictures of his collection. He's got a lot of other cool stuff too.
I want to know.
Now, Mickey, I know you showed the sailor version and the clown version of the other sculpt he does, that one of my all-time favorites. But if someone were to commission you, Todd, to do say I'm a doctor, can you make that into a physician? Like, I mean, I picked that one out of the air, but I mean, like, do people contact you and say, I love that sculpt. You did a Carney, you did these other ones. Can you do one that is a blank, and then be able to order that from you?
If anybody came up with a good idea that I was inspired enough by to want to spend the time on it, then I would do it.
Got
it. But most of the requests that I get are people will contact me and say, "Can you sculpt me a Pennywise? Or can you sculpt me a Freddy Krueger?"
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Can you sculpt me one Halloween theme?
Oh, never heard of that.
I wonder. Is there anything available currently?
Oh, I got one. That'll
Mickey, do you have it ready to go?
Anything Halloween theme, Mickey?
Tell me which one it is, and maybe I do.
Well,
I don't-
it's the same. It's the other bus that we were talking about, but it's got the entire chest is tattooed with insane Halloween stuff.
Oh, let's see here.
Don't drop the ball, Mondragon. This is
Oh,
your
God.
moment. This is your moment.
This is the first time I've gotten a request. Is it-
Bingo! There it is. Look
There
at
it
that.
is.
Completely insane.
See, I'm always ready, like my
you really
beard.
are always ready.
Just like your beard. I love it.
Look how big that is. See, I love that you're in this photo because I asked you about this before. How big it is. That is so impressive. Like, love when it's larger than life scale.
Yeah, me too. That's a lot of people do miniature stuff in it, which is amazing. But everything I've seen that you've made is big. It's
I like to.
Yeah.
I like when a piece has like a huge presence to it, and not just my own work. When I look at other people's work, if it's kind of larger than life, or it just is really in your face, like I just like work like that personally.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, especially with it's anatomically accurate, so it almost tricks your brain to thinking you're looking at a giant human.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all encompassing.
You know what I'm also super impressed by, Todd, is you don't just sculpt it, you don't just paint it, you do all of your own molding and casting, and a lot of people will send that out, or they'll kind of like, I got past the sculpt and now it's on to the next thing. I'm just in awe of the fact that you do, and so you're making the bases, you're packing it, you're doing. I mean, it's like literally soup to nuts. Like this is 100% you, and that to me that's just like you could be more jack of all trades. Do you, when you do like a molding, did you spend a lot of time? Because I know sculpture wasn't initially your forte, but when it came to doing all the molding, that's just like completely. I'm afraid of it. And Paul, I mean, you and I have had many instances of failing at it, and we just get scared by it. But you're clearly pretty damn good at the molding part. Do you enjoy that part?
It's, to be honest with you, no, I don't enjoy the molding. It's just work. It's just necessary. It's something you just have to get through.
Okay.
I don't think anybody that does this type of work actually likes the molding part. But that was, I think, one of the most important things that I learned in college in sculpture class was actually those techniques, how to make molds, how to divide your sculpture up with walls, and what materials to use for molds, what materials to use for castings, what you can put in certain molds, so stick and lock in there. And I did have some bad molds. I mean, unfortunately, you just kind of have to go through ruining some stuff before you really learn.
Yeah. And I guess if there's a lesson, is do it in college where they're paying for the products. Because for God's sake, I've already dropped hundreds of dollars on shit that just goes in the trash. So,
yeah. Ruin their.
You got it, kids. You do it in college. You already paid your tuition. Go do it there.
All right. So I have a point of information. Mike Regan.
Yeah.
Loved making molds. Remember, we were talking about mold making. He was talking about all the different molds and the certain ones that he just really loved to make. So not everybody hates it. I mean, the four of us hate it.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody in this room hates it.
Yeah. People are like really. Some people's molds are a work of art themselves.
They are.
Yes. Yeah.
They get so. I mean, like I've seen ones that they're pulling them out of the mold. For instance, I'm like, what you just made there, and the intricacies of it are just like staggering. So I'm with you. Todd. That's like beautiful.
Silicone molds. If you've ever seen somebody that did a really intricate silicone mold with all the keys and the lines, so it locks together.
Yeah.
The castings that they get out of those things they're perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is an art in itself because because I've watched like probably all of us here, like Stan Winston classes, and when you see the mold making, that the processes of it, it's very specific. There's this math behind it, which is not my forte, clearly, but it is a really amazing art when you in itself, and knowing what you're going to mold these out of makes a big difference as to what you make the mold of what and then knowing that chemistry that goes into how soon it sets and all the other things. It's another art.
Yeah, for sure.
And
there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, Michael says you like the molding first day, but you're over it by lunch. So yeah.
Very true.
Over it before I finished the first batch of plaster, honestly.
As you're mixing the batch, you're like, I'm over this. This sucks.
I'm like, well,
no going back once you start, though.
I know.
See, we've always had the discussion of how do we mold one of squash carvings, right? Because it's a perishable item and it's wet and it breathes. And I didn't know it breathed until I tried making a mold, because I sealed it to the base without having any place for the air to escape. And I came back like an hour later and there was a balloon that had formed from the gas trying to get out from it.
Yeah.
$30 down the drain.
Wow.
Yeah. So I like pictures. Pictures are cool. I'm gonna get a 3D scanner at some point when they become as cheap as digital TVs now. That's when I'll get a 3D scanner and I'll be aces.
Yep. Pixels come free with your camera.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I see
Even
more and
though
more people 3D.
No, go ahead.
I see more and more people doing 3D castings and buying one, just to have to mess around with. So I know they're getting affordable.
Yeah, and they look great. If you get that and a nice 3D printer, I mean, it's an investment, but think about the turnaround time and how much less fiberglass you have to get into your skin.
Yeah,
you don't even have to deal with it.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we've talked to people that have really good, like Gabriel Venus had really good, he had really good 3D, the 3D printing capabilities, and and it's like you just never know which one to buy, because it seems like it changes day by day, right? Like which software you get, which which printer you get. But if you're going to start investing money, you can go from like $300 to $8,000
thousands of dollars. Yeah,
thousands, and you don't even. Yeah, that's so. It's you got to be pretty committed to dabble in that thing. It seems like.
Yeah, at that point, I think you're probably expecting to make money off of it.
Right. If you're going to spend that money, you got to make money, right? Yeah.
You can make money off this?
Well, no, not us.
Not us. We ain't making money off
Todd, yes. Us, no.
Yes. So I can make lots of money, not us.
So speaking of money, we were talking about this yesterday in our pre-show. So Todd, you actually, this show was born out of COVID, and doing it on a consistent basis, just to stay creative and stay out there. And we've got to meet a whole bunch of great people like yourself because of it. But how did COVID, how did that affect you? And what's something a pivot that you had to make?
Well, so we didn't have any shows at all, obviously. My big show, Mask Fest, was shut down, and they had hopes at the beginning that everything will probably blow over. It's supposed to be in September. We'll be okay.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
So it was I just kind of like hunkered down and tried to produce as much stuff as I can, and that's when I made the warrant sculpture. That was just kind of like a labor of love. I didn't know, what the future was going to be. I didn't know if I'd ever have a show to show it at. So I thought, well, this is my
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what I'm hearing, Todd, what I'm hearing you say is you made this because you wanted to make it, not because you were commissioned to make it.
Exactly. This was something this is an image that I loved as a kid. See, when I was a kid, this album was really popular. It had just come out, so you would see it in stores on the album, and then other kids were wearing it on their T-shirts at school.
Right.
So, as just an artsy kid, I just loved that. It's a painting originally. Mm-hmm. And I always thought one day, like, man, I hope one day I can draw that picture, for fun or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, going through some ideas and trying to figure out, okay, I need something to work on. I need to start something new. And then I came across this image randomly in a Google search for something else, but for whatever reason, it brought that up. And I hadn't thought about that since I was a young teenager, but instantly I was like, sculpting.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, I got to do it.
Yeah.
It's funny how inspiration can hit you on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's the best part of it.
I know. And you take that moment, right? And you saw something and it already clicks in your mind. And did you just like make a mad dash to your studio and start working on it?
I started planning it. So I was actually looking for, there was this was around the time when they announced they were doing another Bill and Ted movie, and
Okay.
they had a little spot.
Show us your shirt.
Yeah, good reference.
Wow.
Wow.
No way, dude. Sorry. So they just announced they're making another Bill and Ted.
Yeah, so I was and they had like a little spot, like an ad in the like a Walmart commercial or something for the Super Bowl, I think it was. And there was music playing in the background, and you know, it was like this cool like rock 80s rock sounded music. So I didn't know what it was. I didn't recognize it. So I go searching for it, and it ended up being a Warrant song in the show. And you know, these images started popping up, and I immediately started gathering and like screenshotting and saving, you know, as many like high res pictures of that painting that I could find. It's only one. There's only one angle of it, so I kind of had to interpret.
Yeah.
You know, the one, the side and the back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you know, we talk about it a lot on this show, how music it goes hand in hand with what we're doing. It definitely influences, you know, the artwork that we all make. So, and I can't believe that what you actually heard it somewhere at a store. Somebody was playing Warrant.
Oh, you mean like when I was at
they're playing it and you could hear it. It's more amazing that a Warrant song was playing in the background.
It's an odd choice. In the commercial, you know, the telephone booth lands and there's all the lightning around it, and Bill steps out and says something to his older self, and in the background, you know, it's like there's all this music going on. Yeah. So it was very fitting. It was fitting for like a young Bill and Ted sort of time period.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Happy to use a Warrant song for that.
That makes much more sense for sure.
You know, I love about this is the neck. I just those folds look so tremendously, you know, like skin, like just a terrible. I mean, they look like you could just squeeze them. You know, they're so they're so like. Yeah. He's gonna give the guy a nice big slap, and then the I know it was in the picture, but your use of like the $100 bills and the cigar and the hair and the collar and the dollar tie, it just like everything just beautiful on this thing. It's
so good. He doesn't have one jowl; he has three.
Yeah, he's got three. His chin is about a mile up from his neck.
He's got on his.
Yeah, he's got chins on necks on chins. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Go ahead, Todd.
Oh, I was just gonna throw some information out there about him. These $100 bills I got on Amazon are the type of $100 bills that they use in like commercials, movies, I guess. So they look really real. And then his earrings are actually cubic zirconia.
Oh, right on.
Wow. You really went all out.
Wow,
I thought you sculpted those. No big deal.
That is awesome. All right, Matt and Paul. I'm gonna give you. Can you name one song off "Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich" by Warrant?
Cherry Pie.
Cherry Pie.
No, that actually was after.
Damn you,
He's only 18.
No.
Is that even?
That's not Skid Row.
17. It was
That's
Winger.
That's Winger.
Winger.
All right, I'm gonna throw this to Todd because he probably knows his name.
Todd, what's the biggest song off that album?
Heaven.
Oh,
Heaven isn't too far
away. Yeah, okay.
But my favorite song is "Where the Down Boys Go." Whoa.
Good tune.
Where do they go, by the way?
Where do they go?
They go, oh.
And if you want to see a little slice of 1990, check out the video for Down Boys. It is everything about glam rock metal.
Yeah, careful how you spell it, though. It'll take you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Down Boys go. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Again, I have to get this all out of my brain. So, thank you for doing this piece so I could get that out of my brain.
Nikki, I don't think I'm surprised because I literally haven't thought of the word the song "Heaven Isn't Too Far Away" or
Right.
"Down Boys" like since 1991 or whatever.
Yes.
It was, when they were
Todd, what is the lead singer's name?
Janny Lane.
Nicely done.
Mickey.
Wait, unfortunately.
You're crushing me over here.
Wow.
Very nicely done.
Guitar player Eric Turner has one of those.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
You really held on to that little bit of knowledge. So
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I was trying to get that in there somehow. But yeah,
That's awesome.
The guy, a friend of him, actually bought it for him. He bought 4 copies, and 3 of them he gave away as gifts, and 1 was for himself. And one of those copies went to Eric Turner.
That's
Very cool.
That is about as cool as it gets.
Yeah, totally.
To sculpt something and then have it become in their collection is just pretty amazing. That's crazy.
It was really satisfying too because they did some videos with it, him and his wife, and then he did a like a shout out happy birthday kind of video for a fan, and he had my sculpture there with him and stuff.
That's
Oh,
cool.
no way.
That's cool. So Michael has a question here. What materials do you use for molding and casting?
Okay, Michael. For molding, I always use a material called UltraCal 30. It's like plaster, but it's more of a cement, and it's really fine and hard. It's much harder than plaster. So with plaster, you can pretty much scratch it with your fingernail, and that limits how many castings you can get out of it. But with UltraCal 30, you can it'll go further, so you can get a lot more castings out of it. And then for casting, I always use latex, just mask making latex. Even though even if it's not a mask, I still typically will cast it in latex and then fill it with a foam, like a 2-part foam from Smooth On.
Yeah. So Todd, when you because I've dabbled poorly in this, but like when you pour in the latex, right, and you do kind of a slush mold, or you're pouring it, you're moving it all around, right, to fill it all the gaps, and then you put in the 2-part foam that expands, right, to fill in all that. So are you checking it in between time? There's no way to really know if you got from the latex to the foam. You're just kind of crossing your fingers. You covered everything, right?
Well, you don't put the foam in while the latex is wet.
Right.
Latex dries completely.
Okay.
So pull it out. It's dry, and then I stuff it with polyfill, which is like teddy bear stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That helps it holds its shape while it sort of fully cures. Because even when the latex comes out dry, it still has a little bit of curing to do, where it'll shrink a little and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'll give it a couple days, and I'll have it sitting with fans on it, and then once it's fully cured, that's when I put in the foam, and I'll take the back of the mold, because the back of the mold is a lot more simple, shape wise.
Round head, or yeah.
I'll fit the piece back into the back of the mold just to hold its shape and prop it up, and then pour in the foam from the open part in the bottom.
Okay. Okay. All right. That makes so much sense now, because I always picture the latex lifting, or there's other issues with it. Okay. That's so cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't have the money to dabble in that right now, but I dream of it someday, being able to like cast these things like you're doing, but just doing it right is the biggest problem, getting it done with, anyway.
For anyone to get into it, I would suggest starting off, with small stuff. You make something small, like a small head or a small little character or something like that.
Right.
Try mold making that way, casting and foam. So if it's a miserable failure, at least you're not wasting a lot of materials.
Good
because
point.
you can get you can get small amounts of latex for pretty cheap, and even the foam, smooth on cell trial kits on Amazon. I want to say they're like $35.
Yeah.
And it expands to like 10 times its liquid volume, so you can actually get quite a bit out of just a trial kit.
Good point. Yeah, really good.
I could screw that up too.
Yeah. I can throw away 35 just like I can throw 100.
Oh, I can toss it out the window.
So Todd, go ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead, Mickey. I was
going to say, I wanted to make mention that Todd's biggest fan is watching right now.
What?
I'm
Hey!
All right.
Like my ma usually watches.
in.
It's a family event.
Yeah, family show.
I know it's a family show, so no F-bombs, Mickey.
Yeah,
it's a family affair.
I was just singing that. Wow. It's like automatic.
It's like it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's the when you're here, you're family.
That's right. Would you like some breadsticks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were talking about shows before. The shows were not happening, and so I mean, this is from obviously a show. I would imagine, right?
Yeah, that was
and so,
that was the last Mask Fest in Indianapolis, Indiana.
That is insane. That is
unbelievable. It was one of my absolute favorites. I fawn over this stuff because I'm looking for references and stuff, just to make some cool pumpkin out of it. And again, I'm never good at like doing like a legit, like if you want a Star Wars character or whatever, but I can do a face, and I always love the expressions you make, and this is one of them that just like blew my mind.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's my girlfriend does a lot of posing for me, and I'll get her, to pull a face like that, for example, and then I'll take a bunch of pictures all the way around, and then print them out and paste them up in the area where I'm sculpting, and and basically just sculpt her face and make it fit whatever kind of weird shape that it's supposed to go on.
Right, and exaggerate the living hell out of it and make it, it's just beautiful.
I never thought to take my girlfriend's face and do this. This is literally her expression with most everything I say.
That's the face your girlfriend makes when she says, "Put that friggin' camera away."
And I like that too, because a lot of the faces that a lot of artists do are like exaggerated faces. Like Paul and Matt will do these really great, like just super expression. This seems to be like underwhelmed, or surprised or something like that. So you actually really challenge yourself, with getting an expression that isn't out there. I mean, this is just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I like to make them subtle sometimes. More recently, I mean, this guy's obviously not subtle, but that's not really my design. But in the case of Humpty Dumpty, the idea here is in Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass, when she encounters Humpty, he's sitting on the wall and he's really like kind of a know-it-all, and he's sort of
okay,
very like, well, actually,
yeah.
Right after that, like he falls off. So this is supposed to be the moments before Humpty falls off the wall.
When he's all smug, and I love it because and again, what you do so beautifully is the wrinkles and the fat in the face, and like those, like this guy's got like he's got jowls, he's got and is that but so a pumpkin carver, when we try to do this, we do it with kind of light, right? Because we have no paint on it, but and we try to make sure that those dimensions, when there's a shadow, are captured in shadow versus. Is this painted, or am I seeing like kind of a white surface just with the layers that are underneath it? Anyway, that's the question. Is it painted on there, like the darker colors underneath?
No, it's 100% sculpted. So if you were to see this in clay form, it would look just like that, except color. However, I do go in with an airbrush and punch up some of those details a little.
Sure.
Do a little,
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
mostly not flat.
Yeah. No, Michael has a great point here. It's like the bone structure. You can see that he's got bones and muscle and skin, and there's all kinds of things going on underneath, which is just insanely hard to capture. But you do it really well.
Thank you. In fact, if you guys want to see, I have a sculpture over here that's a work in progress. I can.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Todd.
Oh, this kind of illustrates what I was saying about posting up a picture with of her making the face.
Oh, she's gonna be so happy that you did this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
That was amazing.
So this is going to be Augusta Loop from Willy Wonka.
Yes. Oh,
Nice.
amazing. So stylized too.
Okay, you saw it here first, people.
Yeah.
Carvers Creators
Oh,
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got like a big lollipop that I made.
That's killer.
That's made out of Sculpey and then coated with 5-minute epoxy to look like candy.
Right on.
And then this is I took a real chocolate bar and made a silicone mold of it so I could cast plastic ones.
Wow.
And then I go in with a Dremel wheel and carve out the bite marks. That's just a placeholder. I'm going to make a brown one for the finished piece.
Right. Oh my God. That's
What is the core of that? Because is it another styrofoam ball? Because that would be what, 60 pounds of clay.
Yeah. So interestingly, on this one, the core of it is air because I used a big rubber ball and coated it with plastic.
Oh, nice.
Is that hard to carve on, Todd? Because I mean, you got some give, right? I mean, you're pushing down on it.
No, not when it's coated with plaster. It becomes a hard shell. And
It does. Okay.
There's no give.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. What do you get when you guzzle down sweets? Yes.
Eating as much as an elephant eats. It's chocolate.
And Christopher says he's your second biggest fan. So do you know Christopher?
Is that Christopher Cross?
I wish.
I live alone.
Sailing takes me away.
Different guy. Probably different guy.
Yeah.
He also did the Arthur theme.
That's right.
Okay.
What's in your life? We need something like that.
Sorry.
Okay, so we need to apologize officially to Christopher Krause.
One of the most underrated superstars of the 1980s. Yes.
Yeah.
There's actually a question. Do you have any tutorials, or have you done anything online to teaching?
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to that, I have some random videos on my YouTube channel that I basically I was going to be working on something and I knew I was going to do some work. So I just put my phone up and switched on the camera and did a kind of a random video and threw it out there. So there's bits and pieces of tutorials, but I do plan to one day I'd like to produce an actual DVD to sell.
Yeah.
Totally should.
Where can people find those now? I mean, are they available, or is it something you're in process of?
If you go to YouTube, to the Laughing Go Studios YouTube channel, they're all on there for free. I mean,
okay.
Wait till this is over before you go. Don't just go there now. The end.
Yeah.
I'm just telling them, wait till the show is over.
Hang out here for another half hour.
Hang out here for
31 minutes.
We'll remind you again.
Yeah, they'll still be.
Yeah, don't go there yet. Come on, just
They'll
listen.
be there. They'll be there when this is over.
We have plenty of obscure references to go. So please hang out.
Mickey's got a bunch more pictures of Todd's amazing work to show too.
I do. And so let's actually let's do that real quick. So this is another one of your original works.
I love that one.
Oh yeah,
I love them all. I keep saying that, but dude, you got so much great material. The chin work is outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah. You can see it's muscle underneath fat, and it's just it's there. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was another COVID piece, actually. This was a head that I had sculpted back in 2017, But my original idea, my original vision for this character was this. I wanted him to have this retro 1950s alien thing. And then when I had some time finally, during COVID, I was like, I'm going to make the body I always wanted to make for this guy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he's about 3 feet tall. And that was part of the idea too, was that he was supposed to have this look about him like he's the ruler of the galaxy, but then you see he's only
clearly, yeah.
He's like an alien Lord Farquaad.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
but his outfit is so beautiful. Did you stitch all that crap and make the boots and everything else?
I made everything that's not blue, except for the bib part that's sculpted. That's part of the sculpture.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh,
How
wow.
interesting.
All the other silver parts are EVA foam or craft foam.
Wow.
Except for the gun. The gun was a squirt gun that I painted, and the belt buckle is a real belt buckle from tan leather, and the boots are children's rain boots that I found at a thrift store.
Of course.
Wow.
So, but the suit
I
though,
love that.
the suit
I
is
love
a
the
child-size NASA flight suit costume. And actually, it came with this.
Wow. And you just
Right
would you
on.
color match it? I mean, the color. You didn't paint the suit, right? So you color matched it?
I had to color match the chest to the suit. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That is awesome. I was actually in the Houston airport, and I actually bought a NASA, but it was orange. It wasn't blue. It was a little spacesuit for him. So, God, this was like 15 years ago. It had to be probably over that. But yeah, so that's awesome. That's so amazing.
That is awesome. So good.
Yeah, if I were to come downstairs and this guy's displayed in my house, every time I'd be, oh shit, who's that?
Yeah, that would scare the death out of me.
It's like having a watchdog. That'd be awesome. Just have him at the door.
Who was the guy on the Flintstones? The Great Gazoo?
The Great Gazoo.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
He's like the realistic version of the Great
That's
Gazoo. Flintstone.
That's right, Dum Dum.
That's right, Dum Dum.
That's when the show jumped the shark.
It really did. It
So a
bring it in.
fun story about this.
A little floating green guy never really helps the show.
Yeah, you can't do crossover episodes on cartoons. It
No.
just-
Definitely. Happy Days also had Mork. Mork from
Oh, that's
Orc.
right.
That's when
And
they
they
jumped
all-
the shark.
And they also literally jumped the shark.
That's
Yeah.
100%.
The beginning of the jumping the shark. Yeah.
You see, Todd, how this can go? Please save us from this. What were you going to say?
Yeah, bring us back. Sorry.
I was gonna say a fun story about this character is the very first Mask Fest that I did. This sculpture I had for sale there, and the person who bought it was my very first sale at Mask Fest.
Oh.
Chris, I see Chris says great beer selection. He's a big
Yeah.
fan.
Oh, right
Chris.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And then, so all these years later, because this was just recently sold, it actually sold to the person who bought the first original one.
What?
No
What did he do
way.
with the first one?
What's that?
Now he's got twinsies?
No, actually, he traded me back the original one for a portion off of the price of this one.
Oh, and so you get your original back, which is pretty cool too.
Okay.
So, oh wow! So you can. It's like trading in a truck.
Yeah.
Low miles.
Low miles.
Yeah.
It's gently used.
Yeah.
If used at all, hopefully not. That'd be creepy.
That's right. Non-smoker, so
Yeah. Oh my god, so good, such good stuff.
wow, incredible. And so I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about this one, but I definitely want to go around after this and see what we're all creating. But
Oh, come on.
this one is unbelievable.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I'm so impressed by your paint work, Todd. I mean, like you do as good a paint as you do sculpting, in my opinion. I mean, like your faces come alive with the paint jobs. Did was that a big focus for you when you were in college or back in when you were starting?
No, I didn't used to paint actually. Sculptures. I would just do like a one coat like black, and then I would do a dry brush over it with another color to hit the high points. But I never did any kind of intricate paint job at all until the last 6 years.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So you clearly have an amazing talent. I mean, I can't stop looking at the eyes and everything else, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah, this is one of those characters where I really wanted to go for it with an extreme expression, and just make him this weird, crazy, alien or whatever he is, and that's why I made it bright red, with the going and all that. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris says nice paint job for someone who's colorblind.
Yeah.
So which colors do you confuse?
green and red.
Green and red.
Oh,
So-
I'm green and purple,
I hate
and
to tell
purple
you,
is a
but
red based. Purple is a red base as well. Same here.
Yeah,
Great job on the lime green sculpture.
yeah.
I believe it could be lime green. No,
Yeah.
I recently got those colorblind glasses.
Oh, do they work?
Oh, you did.
Yeah, they 50% of the
Yeah,
show
that's true. That is awesome. It's true, very true. Although the wheel is not colorblind.
No, it's every color of the rainbow. Sadly.
Yeah, you have to refigure your math there.
And the other 50% is tone deaf.
Yeah, tell how do you solve the color problems?
Yes, I want to hear this.
I work around the colorblind thing by it was just kind of trial and error. I did a lot of bad paint jobs at first, but I use Jen a lot. I drive her crazy, asking her to come in here, to look at something and say, "This too pink," and a lot of times it is. Sometimes she'll come in and say, "Oh no, that guy looks like he's got a sunburn." So if you go over that with a wash of green, it'll kind of like tone down the red. And, those techniques. But then I also I took all the paints that I have and I did a color swatch on a piece of white paper with some of it, and then I had her describe to me what it looks like. So when I'm using it and like she's sleeping or whatever, I can look at, if I got 4 different types of brown, I can just read her descriptions and it'll say like, okay, this one's more of a red brown, this one's more of a blue brown.
Okay.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Mickey,
That's
isn't that
awesome.
similar to what you do, right? When you
It's-
memorize the...
But it's the opposite, because I do a lot of digital work, so I'm able to mix a color that's actually comes through the screen, basically at my eyes. For what this is, it's reflective, so it has a different color quality. So it's how the light reflects on it. So it's actually different, and you have to have like perfect lighting for what you do as well to understand the color. Because under a different lighting, like a more yellow lighting, it could have a different color as well. So I learned how to mix colors digitally by number. So for CYMK, for RGB, for HSB, there's a whole bunch of different variants. But I remember colors. So if I have to do a gold, it's 10, 25, 65, 0. Wow. So that's how I know it. And then I go from there, and then I do like reds. Sometimes I even do hex colors, which is like web colors. So like I actually have the formulas in my head to get the reds that would be in this and stuff like that. So it's very different technique, but it's similar. Where I have to say, like, what does this look like? And I'm like, I'll say like, oh, that looks kind of green, and it's like they're like, no, that's like deep brown. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I write down every single step on a paint job.
Wow.
In case I need to recreate it. So I've got formulas for like, say I want to paint a Caucasian character. I've got a step-by-step formula for a Caucasian skin tone, which which actual paint from which brand and the order in which they go on and how they go on.
Oh wow! And how much?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And I bet you, I mean, we can see it in this picture 100%. Your colors are probably more vivid because of that. And I've been actually complimented on my color selections. It's only because I have it so dialed in. I know exactly where to go, how to make it vivid, and I don't have to worry about something being, muted or matte finished. It's actually very vivid. So, and that's what I noticed in this as well.
You said matte. That's bad.
That is cool.
Like a matte finish, yeah.
No, not Matt Harper. Okay.
Matte.
Oh.
I wish your name was Matte. That'd be amazing.
You know what is I mentioned that I use Tim Gore's Bloodline. That helps a colorblind person a ton because he's already mixed them to look like natural color,
Oh.
So he's got blood red and he's got
How interesting.
Yeah, Tim
Right.
Tim Gore's amazing. And when we talked to him, we talked about his paints too. And I know Paul has them as well. But that's interesting to hear because both you and Mickey, I swear to God, all good painters must be colorblind because Todd, you're so damn good at it. It's like no one would ever know. It's just probably a little mathematical to me. I certainly would never even get there. Like not being colorblind is a crutch.
Well, I think Todd, would you agree? You work a little bit harder on it because of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked really hard. I mean, I agonize over it, and a big help to my painting too was do you guys know who Jordu Shell is?
Oh, Jordu, yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's not, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He very generously donated some of his time to me and got on the phone with me for a little while and gave me a bunch of his advice about painting and colors I can use for shading and where I could improve on my work and huge turnaround. I mean, after I put his advice into my work, there was almost like a night and day difference.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched his stuff on Stan Winston and just I'm so impressed by his sculpting capabilities. But I got to assume that he's that good at painting as he's at sculpting. So that's some really impressive to hear. That's wow. I guess I'm not surprised because everybody in this community is so damn giving. Like to get to give each other the next step up.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. And when you have say like the stuff that Todd does is super vivid that I've showed, but look at this one, which is actually kind of reversed of that. It's actually very muted but still has a lot of detail in it and stuff like that. Right. So you actually know how to use it vivid, but also scale back.
Yeah. I mean, this he's supposed to look dead, obviously. This is one of the very few horror type stuff that I do. I don't really go there very much. I like happier, fun characters. Yeah. Just kind of for whatever reason, that was kicking around in my mind, and I just needed to get it out, just get the horror thing out, So this is what came out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a very.
How big is that? What size are we looking at there? Just from a scale perspective, is that big like your other ones you do, or is that smaller?
This one is actually a wearable mask, so it's slightly bigger than a human head, it fits around.
Okay.
So like the size of your head, Matt.
No, my head.
I only goof because I love.
I keyed. So let's go around the horn. I want to see what Paul and Matt are working on.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, God.
No? You got nothing? All right, so I'll go to you first.
Oh, I'm still roughing. I picked the wrong object. Matt's head is like... Listen, like everything else, I'm going to take my time roughing and it'll all come together. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, always does.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It does.
Listen, blind squirrels find nuts too, all right? Oh my God, it's me, verbatim.
Yeah, it's Paul. So I got the widow's peak going.
Oh man, right off the bat, he goes for the hairline.
Damn. Well, hey, you got hair. I'm impressed. And then
Yeah, I would have to glue it on.
I figure I'll put a beard in here somewhere because now
Nice.
didn't always, but I'm going to put a nice big thick, fluffy beard in there and kind of an expression somehow in there. But
You
like-
got the shape of my head perfect.
yeah, very, very. You're like
Very,
Bert, Ernie and Bert. You're Bert, right?
butternut. Oh, that's what we should do is a Bert and Ernie theme.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely do that in there as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, damn it! This is
I
hard.
got more time. I got a lot of time to put into this. So,
Well,
I hate to say this, but I'm gonna pull up a picture of you, and I never want to look at pictures of you, but I'm going to.
you liar! You always look
Oh.
at pictures of me.
All right.
You post so many of yourself, we're inundated with them all the time.
You're right. You wouldn't
It's
even
a
know who I was.
daily
Yeah,
thing,
so
Paul. Yeah.
I definitely don't do that. Hey, but you know what the good part is? I just figured out with everybody that carves along with us, right?
Oh no.
They have to carve us.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you don't have to do it with me. If anybody needs to see me without glasses, this is what I look like.
Jesus Christ! Put the glasses back on. Wait, no. Stay like that for the next 15 minutes.
That's awesome, Matt. You were doing the optigrab
Ah,
It's-
Didn't help.
from the
I'm
jerk.
back.
That was amazing. I got the wrong shaped squash for this. I'm gonna have to. Hopefully, it's got some thick walls, and I can make up the difference.
There we go. Yeah. Because don't forget, I gained 6,500 pounds during COVID. So
Well, this pumpkin, if I keep the shape of this head, it's going to reflect it.
thank you. Thank
Like
you.
a bowling ball.
That's all I can ask.
I'll tell you what, though, for an acorn squash, it's holding up pretty well.
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty
I've never been an acorn until now, so thank you, Paul.
You'll never be able to say that again, Matt.
So
And
Todd,
when I'm done-
that's looking tremendous as well. I
I
mean,
know, Matt.
what you're working on.
Yeah,
Todd.
I haven't got with it. I've been, kind of talking and stuff, so I haven't really done much. But this is this is the roughing out stage, blocking out all the shapes.
Yeah.
There's
And Todd, just by I hate to interrupt you, but Paul and I are each going to get a couple of these for our own collection, I think.
I hope so. Yeah, so
I got to try and work a deal with them for the Halloween version of the. I need a name. What do you call it?
oh, it's called Jacktober.
Oh, that's Jacktober.
Ooh, okay.
All right, Jackie Toba,
Little Jack.
Jackatoba here.
Love it.
Yeah, so with this
Love it.
one, the idea
ice maker now.
I'm going to try to get together a run of these. I'm going to try to make them somewhat affordable, like more affordable than my works, that are in like the thousands. It's not going to be that much. And I found a forum on Facebook, or a page on Facebook, where there's Madball collectors. So I'm thinking, like, if I go in there and set number, and like everybody can commit to one and put down a little bit of money and do a bunch of them for everybody.
Oh, that's
hell yeah.
killer.
Great idea.
That's a super great idea.
And the rabid fans will come out of the woodwork. I think they're going to be the ones who will be like, yeah, I need 5,
Yeah,
10 friends who like, you need one. Yeah.
you need the whole set. You need the first run of Mad Balls.
Yeah, I'll add balls for the next 2 years.
Right. Hey, so what you been working on? Mad Balls. Oh my God.
I hate
Mad
them.
balls.
I hate them. I hate them. Yeah.
It's the best
Oh,
and worst
what
thing that ever
about the
happened.
Pogo Mad Ball thing you were telling me about?
Oh,
What's that?
pull up the Pogo Ball, if you can, Mickey.
Pogo
Oh,
Ball.
I'll look it up.
I was trying to explain to these guys what Pogo Balls were. I had one of those as a kid, and that was like a Mad Ball
Oh,
you
yeah.
could stand on and bounce. And it was
Okay,
unbelievable. And I still couldn't do it. To this day, I probably still couldn't do a Pogo Ball. I can walk on my hands,
Really?
but I can't bounce.
Wow.
I can't bounce on the ball. Yeah, God's cruel. Like I'm gonna bounce in my hands and my
Things
feet.
in a round.
No, yeah, but they had the Pogo Balls had faces on them. Maybe it was Mad Ball Pogo Ball. Just type of Pogo Ball with face. Simple.
Let's see it. Okay.
Oh Jesus! Did I just make this whole thing up and I had like a weird dream? Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
Fever dream.
Yeah, you know what? I'll find them. I'll find them, and I'll post it. I'll put it on my story. Say that I'm not.
There's Pokeball, Madball. Maybe there's something there.
I'll bet there is. I'll find it. Let's see who's quicker. Mia Mondragon.
Yeah, Mondragon's pretty damn fast so far. I don't know.
I'm
No,
always
not that
ready,
fast.
but
You can't
not for
find
this one.
Booyaka shot. Got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Cool.
You son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
What do you got there?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
That was one of them. Mine was different than the pig. Mine wasn't a pig, but that's what I was referring to. It really doesn't matter. I sucked at it. I still can't do a pogo stick either. Too. That's ridiculous. I don't know why I'm telling you people this. It's embarrassing.
Todd, when you work on something, you talk about multiple months to do, to kind of get the big piece done. When did you start working on what you're working on now, the Madball, and when do you think you'll be kind of knocked out? Like,
good question.
Yeah. What's your time frame on that? A couple months or altogether, or what's your thought?
Well, so something like this, it's pretty simple. You can see by the reference, the sculptures on these things are like not Michelangelo by any means.
Right.
So I should be able to crank this guy out pretty quick. I mean, all the forms are basically here where I want them to be, and it's just a matter of refining at this point and then going in and doing some details. I'm going to make mine a little more detailed. It's kind of like an updated, like my own version, of it.
Nice.
Right.
So something like this should go pretty quick. However, Augustus Gloop, now that's one that, when I say it takes me a few months to sculpt it, it's like that.
Right. And the Augustus Gloop, where would that actually be seen? Like, I mean, people, like, I'm sure your collectors and folks would want to see that in the final stages. Where would you be able to showcase this, something like that? With COVID, this horse shit out there,
What? Oh yeah. Basically, any show that I have after it's done, I'll bring it to that and I'll use it as like my big showpiece.
Nice.
Like this Saturday night, I have a show, a Halloween themed show in Lombard, Illinois, and
okay.
I'm going to have Jacktober there on display as a showpiece. And even though I don't expect to sell like a really expensive piece at a show like that, but it's an eye catcher, so it brings people over to my table, and then affordable stuff that they can pick from that.
Okay.
The old bait and switch. I love it.
Right on. Awesome. Yeah, so I mean, we're in the waning moments of the show, but I wanted to go through some of the last slides that I have. I mean, Omaha in June actually was wanted to know more about your jiggery line, which I'm not sure which that is.
The jiggly baby.
Rabbits.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, the rabbits.
The rabbit.
Oh, okay. So that's the rabbit one when we talked about that earlier. But I definitely wanted to go through this real quickly. Let me, because I was looking up the Madball, so I'm off subject here. So
look at that.
I mean, some amazing like.
I have that same hat.
Yeah, I mean we have some amazing like horn pieces. So tell me more about these.
Okay, so that the portly looking one. Now this was a joke.
Sorry.
That was a filter over the original sculpture.
Gotcha.
Oh, it was the old filter. All right.
Okay.
Remember that app.
Happened to work on my sculpture, but this sculpture, I call this one Pie Swiper. And
perfect. Okay.
My idea here is that he lives in like a near a medieval village, but he lives out in the woods. And in medieval like little villages, they would bake pies and they put them in the windowsill to cool. And then the guy would come sneak in and he'd steal them, and eat them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
yeah, he got quite a few. He looks like? He looks like my buddy Steve Zimmer. He looks exactly like Steve Zimmer. Yeah.
This same Steve Zimmer.
Yeah, that son of a gun right there. Yeah. It's not nice, Steve. It's not nice. We're having a nice discussion there about a beautiful sculpture.
Yeah. These are so amazing. The textures.
The gaze in the eyes in this one is nuts.
Yeah.
How do you even get in there to paint it? Those are the things I need to know.
I have an airbrush by Iwata called an Iwata Custom Micron, and they're specifically made to get really tight, fine detail. You can airbrush like almost like a hairline with these things.
Oh wow!
So you can really get there. And then I also go in with a paintbrush. I have a little paintbrush where I pulled out a bunch of the bristles, so there's just like 4 bristles left in there, and I'll use that to do the lines in the iris and that kind of thing.
Wow, I wanna learn how to do that someday. That's creepy. That's the creepiest one that I've seen you do.
Yeah.
There's nothing you're gonna do when he wants to drag you into the woods.
Yeah, he's taking you in.
Yeah, and you know what he says to you when you say I'm afraid. He says, "How do you think I feel? I got to walk back alone."
That's exactly.
He's gonna pantomime it to you, though. Sadly.
Yeah.
Pantomime.
Yeah. And, go ahead.
Wow.
So the 2 that you just showed, obviously, there's the same sculpture, and it's that same idea where I take one sculpture and try to get mileage out if I can.
Yes.
So that one was the Butler version.
Oh, okay.
And then
why do they look so different?
That's the same sculpt?
It's amazing.
That's the same sculpt?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Wow. That's insane
So
how different that is. I would have never thought that. Oh, yeah, I guess I could see it now. But even the way you did the eyes, like the pupils are way bigger. And wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and they're lighter.
He almost looks like a chimp in this one. Like he just looks all muscle.
Yeah.
His nose looks so much smaller in the first one too. Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah,
right.
That's incredible.
This one, those are life size. They're big.
Are they really?
Wow.
I wouldn't want that in my home. That would give me.
I was gonna say, yeah,
the line wouldn't screw me up. I wouldn't even get up to take a piss in the middle of the night.
The Butler one is in somebody's home. He has it on display in his living room.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Gallery, and he's got him in the window, and he's actually looking out the picture window from the gallery to the street.
But nobody's broken into the gallery since.
Wow, incredible! And some of the things that that we always love bringing back our guests. So Todd, we have so much more to talk about, but like the fact that you do all this work. And I didn't even show all of it. There's some other work that you've done like this, but this face painting stuff is very, very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a foam latex appliance, which I dabble in, but it's not really what I do. This is a friend of mine who puts on a huge Halloween party in Chicago. I mean, like lines around the block to come through this guy's display, and so he hired me to do his makeup that year.
Oh, Maddie, you might be in town for this party. Maybe you know a guy that could get you in the party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know a guy.
I know a guy who knows a guy. I'll be in Chicago, so
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding. Todd, where can we find your stuff? We talked about Laughing Ghost Studios on Instagram, but is there anywhere else we can find some of your work?
Yeah, I've got a Laughing Ghost Studios Facebook page. And I post the same on both. So whenever I post anything, I post it on the Facebook page, I post it on the Instagram page, and then I'll usually share my own post from the Laughing Ghost Studios page on my personal page. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, if you follow Laughing Ghost Studios on Instagram, or if you like and follow Laughing Ghost Studios on Facebook, you will see everything I do.
Right on. Matt and Paul, any last words before we sign off?
it's not over yet. Paul, come on.
What? We got a long way to go here.
All right, so I'm just so grateful that Todd joined us. I've been like following him for years and just love his stuff. So I'm just over the moon, like over the moon juice.
That's my biggest fan.
Yeah, dude, I'm just so stoked to get to know you and to hang out with you today. So just follow Todd, go to Laughing Ghost Studios, buy his stuff, support this guy. He's an idol. So thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yes,
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, and I'll be starting a GoFundMe page so that I can purchase the Halloween version of my favorite sculpture. So if you want to go to my GoFundMe page, help that along.
I'll
Support artists supporting artists here, people.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's it.
Yes.
And we will be posting Paul's GoFundMe on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Probably not YouTube or Twitch, but this is where you can find us. Please support us. Give us a couple likes. Give us some views. And it's always a pleasure every week learning about new artists, making new friends. Todd, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll be back next Thursday with another Carvers and Creators. And we're going to keep it under wraps until, look for the announcement. I know it's a long weekend, Labor Day weekend, right? We're all going to be doing other things, but you'll see what we have in store for you next week. So from Matt Harper, Paul Dever, thank you to Todd Davis. Thank you for being here. Michael Mondragon here. We'll see you next Thursday for Carvers and Creators. Good night, everyone. Take care.